everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den, and today we're going to make a card that looks like this, but we're not going to use this set, but I thought I would show it to you because this is a new set in the annual catalogue, and I made this card for my colour creation, and this is Summer Splash. I think that's the colour. It's one of the new in colours, but I just loved it, and I just thought I'd love to show you how I did these. So what I did is I stamped this bag here twice on white card and twice, oh excuse me, on some DSP. That was a bit rude, wasn't it? Then I cut them both out and I coloured the top part, this part here. Let me get my pencil so I can show you. This part here on the white card. With the other one, I actually used my craft knife and I cut right around there and around the handle and down and in this section here and glued that over the top so that they look like handbags or shopping bags, and I just thought it was so lovely that I wanted to show you how I did that. So this was the card I made and I put on there, just for you, shopping is always a good idea, and I used those plants from off of that too, and that's all I used off of there. So I used shopping is always a good idea, just for you, and these bags. But we're going to do the same style of card again, and this time I'm going to pop that out of the way for a minute. No, I'll pop it there, it'll fall on the floor. Pop it over here with Latte Love, which is one of my favourite sets of all times, I must admit. Today we're going to use Hello There, Let's Catch Up, and I'm going to put that on the inside. On the outside, on top of that banner piece, which this card is called a banner card, you're the best part of my day. I've stamped and cut out 2 cups, and we're using some of the DSP out of the same thing. I'm also using this lovely So Swirly embossing folder, which is new in the annual catalogue, and it's a thin folder, not a big thick 3D folder, so it goes through on the second layer of your embossing machine with the plate at the top and the bottom. So let me pop them out of the way and I'll show you exactly what we can be using. So, and I've also got the gems that go with this called swirl dots. So this is what we're going to use. That's it, except for a bit of this ribbon. So I'm using the whole of this suite, so all of the Latte Love suite. This piece of card is in pecan pie and it measures 8 1/4 by 5 7/8. We need 2 pieces because I'm going to stamp in the same colour on the inside, and there isn't a lot of layers and everything in this card. So we're going to need 2 pieces, and this one I've already done the embossing on, which I think looks absolutely gorgeous. And they both measure 5 5/8, if I believe right, 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. Then we need a piece of designer series paper, and I'm using this so that it matches in with the swirls and everything, and this measures 5 5/8, the same, yep, by 2 inches, which we're going to pop onto the bottom of that piece. Then for my banner we need a piece that measures 1 3/4 by 3 1/4. Now I've done all the markings on the back, but I will show you because we're not going to punch this out, we're going to cut this piece. And then I've done my cups, and that's it. So let's start with doing this banner first. Alright, so I've actually marked the back of mine so you can see what I did. I've marked it like so. So what I did first is I actually popped this in here at the 7/8 mark, and I did it on this long line here, right, and I put a mark at the bottom and at the top. Then I turned it onto the side and I wanted it to be at the 1 inch mark, and I did it exactly the same again. I put it at this line so I marked top and bottom, and then I drew a line both ways. That way I could then draw a line from there down to each corner. And that way we can just get our scissors and we can just cut from that corner up to there, and the same on that side there. And we know that our banner is going to be even. Now I'm not going to rub them off with my eraser because they're not going to be seen. It's going to be that way up. But if you wanted to, you could actually use your eraser and, you know, to get them off. So that was how I made my banner. So let's do my little bit of scoring with my score tool, my trusty scoreboard. I'm going to pop this in here. Oops, look, I'm moving everything around. At the 8 1/4 mark, using the small ball, I'm going to score this at 4 1/8. And that's all the scoring we're going to do. So I'm going to fold and burnish this over. I like to give this a whirly down when I've done that, so that I can make sure that just in case your card is not quite the right size, it can be done. Okay, so now I need to just work out which way up these swirls I want to go. I think that way, because I think if I do that, my swirly paper can look just as good on the bottom. So I'll have my swirls at the top like so, and I'm going to glue these down. Now with my other card I just used normal DSP. Why is my glue not coming out today? It's so cold here today. It is freezing. My hubby is inside with the heater on already. Okay, I'm just getting this out now. I've got the heater on in here too, in my craft room. Now this I'm going to butt up against the edges because I didn't leave any distance. So I'm going to butt it up against the edges here, here and here before I put it down. And if I turn it over, I will be able to see if that's the right way or not. Once I'm happy with that, that's great. So now I'm going to do my ribbon piece. So I'm actually going to start on the back. Well, actually I'm going to start on the front. I'm going to leave about an inch at that end. And I'm going to put this so that it's half on this piece and half on this bit. Pop it on there. Then I'll turn it around the back on this side. Cut off a piece the same, around about the same length on that side. And pop that around. That way I know I've got it right in the middle there. Once I'm happy with that, give that a nice burnish down. If you burnish it down, you know that it's going to come up nicely. Okay, well let me see if I can put my pin in my glue for a minute because of this weather. And I'll give it another squirrely birdie. Okay, now I don't know how much ribbon I'm going to need, so let me see, approximately 9 inches. Approximately. I'm going to start at one end and I'm just going to pull it back that bit. And I'm going to pop that over the top of that. Then I'll bring it around, bring it down to this end, and making sure that that's nice and even there. I'm pressing down hard. Now you can see that I can see a little bit of that either end. So I'm going to pop it along the top edge, and then I'm going to just use my picker tool, not that end, silly, this end, just to push that up, out of the way if it's showing. Because we don't want it to show. So I've got a little bit showing there, but it's gone now. Then I'll turn that over bring this one over and give it a chop off as well. And that is our ribbon on there. As you can see, I can still see a little bit showing just there. I'm going to push that up so that it goes underneath that. There we go, look. Right along there. It will roll up nicely if you've got, well, mine is a little bit wider than the ribbon. If I had some narrower one, I could have used that, but I haven't. I have run out. How disgusting is that? A crafter that runs out of product. There we go. So we've got that on there like so. Nice and neat. We're going to just glue that to the front of our card like so now. Now let's see if we can get some glue out of this pot again. Oh, not looking at you here all the way around this. Glue, 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 glue. There we go. I think because it was so cold, it just didn't want to come out. Nor do I. I don't like being out in the cold either. Oh my goodness, this is really bad today, isn't it? There we go. It comes good and then it goes yucky. I'm going to have to give this a good squeeze and see if I can get some. If not, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to pop this one on the side. I will play with that one later and I'll grab the other one. It may be that it's getting a bit empty as well. So I've got a smaller pot here of the same stuff. Let's pull that off of the top of that. It always does this when it's cold. It doesn't like the cold. Like most people, it doesn't like the cold. Make sure you put plenty on your end of your ribbon so that it can stay down. And then we're going to pop this onto the front of our card. Yay, we got there in the end, didn't we? Alright, so I'm going to actually push that down from the inside. There we go. Alright, so that's our front of our card done. We're actually going to stamp this piece now. I'm actually going to stamp this in pecan pie. And it's just going to say the words, "You're the best part of my day." And somewhere around here I've got a splotch, and I might just put a splotch just at the top there like that. That's it. That just looks just finished, whereas the other bit just on its own looked a bit off. Alright, so this is going to go on the card on the left hand side. So let's pop some dimensionals on this, making sure that I get them down this end too. And looking at this, we need to know that we don't want to put them through the middle there, so you need to go above that mark there. So about there will do me, because that's going to go over that ribbon. And if you pop them on top of the ribbon, it's going to bulk up too much, because the ribbons, this burlap ribbon here is actually quite thick. So I'm going to pop this onto the top, making sure that it lines up with the top of the card. Now there's no right or wrong or how far over you need to put it, so it's entirely up to you. I then have my two cups, which I'm going to pop on like so. So I'm going to actually pop this up, this one down, sorry. Get off of their glue. Oh, see, that one's coming out so much easier, isn't it? So we'll pop this one on nice and that way. And my other one, which I'm going to just hold that down there because it's going across the ribbon, I'm going to put up on some dimensionals. So I'm going to pop that one on this angle, so I don't want any at the top, I want them down here. I'm going to use a small one as well, just to pop in the middle of that. Check where I want it, and I want one on here, on the handle, like so. And then I will pop some glue in this piece here. Come on, glue, work today. Alright, pull them off the back and place my cup on that angle across there. Oh, I like the way that's turned out, the angle of them. Let's pop the pin in that glue and we'll pop out some of these nice gems. Now, which colour do you think I should use? I think, no, the light is too light. The medium, I will use the medium ones. Oops, let's pull that off of there, turn it over, pop it back in and lock it, and we will use these medium sized ones. Oh, they look funny on there. I think we might use these darker ones. Oh, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat now. And that's the front of my card done. So let's pop that on one side and we will work on our piece that goes inside. Alright, so I'm going to bring in a bit of scrap paper because I'm going to stamp on the side. So I'm going to actually use my pecan pie here and I'm going to stamp "Hello there, let's catch up" in the centre. All done. Leave that on one side for a minute because then I'm going to bring in my coffee cup and I'm going to stamp my... Now, why have I got those stuck to that coffee cup? That was a bit silly, wasn't it? What are they even doing on my desk? A coffee cup there, or the ends of one, and one on this side too. Alright, so let's put the lid back on that. Bring in my coffee bit that goes in the middle here and pop that in there. So you can see that there's coffee in the cup. Right, and I will put a couple of splotches because I just like those splotches. I think they just look lovely, like so. Let's pop the pin on of that. Now I'm going to colour with my, let's move them out of the way and that out of the way so I don't colour on top of them, with my blends, and these are in petal pink, and I'm going to use the dark one first, and I'm going to go around the inside of that piece just there and along this edge here. Just there. Same on this one. I'm going to colour across the top of that there and then down this side here and this side here. Then I'm going to use the light one to just go around the edges in the lighter colour and into the middle of my coffee cup past the handle. This one again around the edges and then into the middle of the cup, right along that edge and onto them. They just give that little bit extra. So then I'm going to bring in my dark one again, just to go over the top of that so that it can actually be seen. That it makes the cup look like it's a bit rounded, and I like that look. Okay, it looks different on the tone on tone as it does being plain, but it just looks fantastic. So let's glue that onto the inside of my card. Which I've just done, and put my pin in my glue. As we know, I don't like to leave it out. And that's our card. What do you think? It's just actually a very simple card, and yet it looks very, very effective. Let me get the other one. There's the other one. It looks effective. I think I like this one better, but that's only because this is one of my favourite sets. But I think they are absolutely gorgeous. They're easy to make, not a lot of supplies, and yet very effective, and can be done. You could do this the opposite way round and cut it that way, so you've got the like a peak here rather than a fishtail. But both are really good, and if you'd like the written tutorial for this, you can head down to the bottom here to Diane for Stamping Crafting and Tutorials. It's my Facebook group. You do have to join if you're not a member already. There is a question that you must answer to join. If you don't answer the question, I'm sorry, I don't allow you to be part of the group. I don't like that bit, cutting him off there, he is. Because that's just the way it is. And if you've enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. If you would like to know more about these products, you're welcome to give me a hoy. You can message me. You'll find all the information down the bottom there, so how to message me or whatever. And if you live in Australia, I would love to be your demonstrator. If you don't, I can always put you on to somebody in one of the countries that we deal with, which is like Europe and UK, America, Canada, New Zealand. And as I said, I would love to be your demonstrator. And I will see you all again next week. Bye for now.